Hello, everybody. This is Douglas Bailey, EDTC 6271, and today's presentation is on ID Principle. We're going to take a look at the needs, the learners, and the task analysis. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to talk a little bit about my program, New Jersey Youth Corps. This is directly from the newjersey.gov website. There are multiple New Jersey Youth Corps all around the state of New Jersey. I believe there's 14 altogether. Mine is located in Jersey City. New Jersey Youth Corps is one of the largest youth service and conservation corps in the United States. We work all year round. It's a voluntary program that engages young adults that are out of school from the ages of 16 to 25 in full-time community service, training, and educational activities. Guided by staff who serve as mentors and role models, teams of youth called crews carry out a wide range of service projects. In return for their efforts to restore and strengthen communities, Corps members receive the following below. So I work as a GED slash task instructor, as well as a crew leader. So my job is to teach and to supervise on the work sites. So what you're looking at below is just a couple of things that the youth corps, what we call corps members, receive for their efforts. So that also focuses on life skills and employability skills instruction, which is something I want to focus on for this specific project. What are the needs? Service projects vary. For instance, students in the past become staff members for places like the Jersey Explorer, which is a children's museum in East Orange, and Let's Celebrate, a soup kitchen in Jersey City. Most recently, we have partnered with NJCU's Residence Life and Social Services departments so our core members can get professional development and hands-on work experience while earning their high school equivalency. To the right, you see one of my former students working at Let's Celebrate. So, of course, our students are tasked to gain job skills on these different volunteer efforts. And more recently, we have partnered with NJCU Residence Life, which is where our needs analysis is going to focus on. So, who are my learners? First and foremost, our students come from Hudson County. They're considered a vulnerable population due to their out of school status, and most fall on the lower socioeconomic status and are eligible for government assistance. There are several reasons our learners have dropped out of traditional schools, which include and are not limited to the following. So we have students that are court mandated through probation. We have students that have a documented history of truancy while in school. We have students that have IEPs and some level of learning disabilities. We have students who have experienced bullying due to a variety of issues. They could be LGBTQ and are just not comfortable in a traditional school environment. Possibly bullying issues have happened, poverty stricken. Some students get teased due to the type of sneakers they wear. There's several reasons why students have been bullied, but we do receive those types of students. Students have been removed from public education due to the behavioral issues. Students who are looking to finish school faster for financial, practical, or social environmental reasons. Students have missed credits and are not graduating on time. Students that have affiliations that prevent them from being in a school environment. Believe it or not, there are students that live in certain areas, and because of the block that they live on or their street affiliations, they cannot go to certain schools because some of the people that they have issues with are in larger numbers at that school. So it could present a safety issue for them by being there. Sadly enough to say. And then once again, students who have safety and ethical concerns with the public school environment. We have students that are super intelligent that could finish high school on a regular track, that are on time to graduate, but due to some of the things that are happening at that particular school, they just don't feel safe or they don't feel comfortable. So these are my learners. Now, once again, it's including, but they're not limited to the following. This list is not the definite list, but I would say about 90% of our students fall within these categories. All right, so how do I know learners' needs? Through our program, students can earn up to $100 a week through a tax-free living stipend Every 2 weeks, students are evaluated by their crew leaders, who also double as their teachers in the classroom. That's me. These evaluations are based on observations in both the classroom and the work site. We meet one-on-one with the students, and they are rated on the categories below. So I'm in charge of the work site that is partnered with the Residence Life and Social Services Department. So say I have 4 core members that work with me on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Those are the students that I will evaluate through observation. This also includes classroom behavior and classroom engagement, but it also includes the work site. So, for instance, one of the things is development of service skills: excellent, good, fair, or poor, ethics and professionalism. So these are things that we rate the students on. Then from there, we can identify concerns and issues. We can also identify short-term goals. So maybe one of the short-term goals is next week when you're on the work site, don't bring your headphones, because headphones on the site have been a major issue. When students have downtime, they want to listen to music. But unfortunately, on the job site, it's just inappropriate. It looks unprofessional, and it's just not a habit that we want them to continue to have. So that would be something I would list as a short-term goal. And the students also help with adding concerns and issues and short-term goals as well. But this is how I know exactly what my learners need through these evaluations. Once they go through the evaluation, they're giving their stipend, and they can make the adjustments. And then in 2 weeks, we will re-examine the evaluation to see what changes have been made and what future considerations need to be made as well. This evaluation is how we can set new goals and address concerns about behaviors we deem unsavory and counterproductive. This learning activity will focus on the work site specifically, primarily because the NJCU partnership is essential for several reasons. So now we're going to identify the reasons why this is so important. By exposing our students to the college community, we hope to spark inspiration in hopes that students will be interested in attending NJCU or another university. New Jersey Youth Corps wants to be a pipeline for students to begin their college careers. Once they're done with our program, it makes perfect sense for them to enter the process of becoming a college student. At least half of our students generally lack work experience and professional development. So they can make those mistakes through our service work projects before they actually get to their official job or before they get into college or trade school. So, perceived notion and lack of knowledge of our program. A lot of people don't know what New Jersey Youth Corps does as a whole. Unfortunately, there have been people that would look down on our program. Those are students that couldn't cut it in a traditional system because they have behavioral issues. So, I feel like by us having a more visible presence on campus, it will allow people to see exactly what the New Jersey Youth Corps program does, and it humanizes our program, and it will give our college counterparts a better example of exactly what we do. And that is really important, because our students sometimes they feel like they're either invisible or they feel as if they're not wanted or not appreciated. And this is I can't explain to you in words how that feels, because I felt that way as a younger student at times. Being on a college campus is definitely a privilege, and I want our students to know and understand, yes, there's a place for you here. You belong here. It is a great learning experience for both the college community and for our students in New Jersey Youth Corps. The needs that are evident for my learners are work attitude, or a positive work attitude, and customer service skills. I know this to be true for several reasons. So this is me identifying the reasons. Core members' expectations when they have received customer service, whether in a fast food restaurant or a local bodega, are low, because they might go into the bodega and maybe nobody speaks to them. Hey, how you doing today? Or they go into a fast food restaurant and they've dealt with certain employees' attitudes. So they might see that and think, okay, this is just the way it's supposed to be. Things like saying hello or thank you are things my students rarely hear from their experience, from what they tell me. They do not always correlate manners with good service. And this is important because I had a student that was going through some difficulties on her job, and her supervisor was basically saying she wasn't enthusiastic enough. And her whole thing was, well, I showed up. I'm here. I'm actually working the job. What else do you want me to do? Do I have to smile? Do I have to say hello? As long as I'm here, that's all that matters. So students need to understand that customer service, good customer service, is more than just showing up. It's about engaging in a positive manner with the customer or with the client so that they can potentially come back. You want clients and customers to come back. You want them to spread the word about your business. So these are things that are important. As their worksite supervisor, I see several behaviors that do not match customer expectations. For example, greeting someone when they walk in the door or asking them if they need assistance. In addition, poor habits include keeping on headphones while working or scrolling on their phone while customers are on the floor. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. That is something that needs to change. If a customer is in the facility or in the room, your phone should be put away. So I want to teach these practices. All right, so task analysis now, focusing on possible tasks, okay? So number 1, what is the most important thing, right? Learners must demonstrate their positive skills in customer service while creating a welcoming environment for clients. That is the one thing that I would like them to gain from this analysis. So these are some possible tasks. 1 month of a no phone challenge on the work site earns core members a reward in the form of a gift card. Crew leader will showcase the invisible gorilla experiment, followed by a group discussion to emphasize the importance of paying attention to avoid missing things. An ID/CL initiated concept map on topics of customer service. The instructional designer slash crew leader will create several video skits of 2 scenarios. One will focus on the customer element, while the other will focus on the employee perspective. And then we'll talk about those things. Based on those skits, core members will be tasked to create brief instructional videos for each site on their jobs at the work site. So going into more specific tasks, as you can see, I got rid of one. I had a possible task as the no phone challenge, but knowing our students, they're not going to want to give up their phones. If they're 18, 19 years old, they're adults legally, so it's hard to take away a phone from an adult. So I have to find other ways to get them to stay off the phones. So I'm going to pass off on that challenge for now and just say what is the most feasible thing that I know that we can do and that students would be good for. Now, if somebody decides they want to do the no phone challenge, that's fine. We'll honor that. But realistically, dealing with teenagers and young adults, my program services up to the age of 25. Am I going to ask a 25-year-old to give me their phone? That could create just more conflict than necessary. So we're going to work around that. All right. So we can definitely do the invisible gorilla experiment. Thank you to Dr. K for reminding me of that. That is something that will showcase in a fun way how important it is to pay attention to things and how we miss out on things that are right in front of us. So when the student says, yeah, I'm looking at the phone, but I can still pay attention, this experiment will show them otherwise. Okay. A concept map on topics of customer service. We're going to stick with that. The skits, we're going to stick with that as well. I'm going to create those skits. I'm going to create skits that are positive customers, more confrontational customers, and then I'm going to go to the employee side as well. The instructional videos we can definitely do. I know our students love to record themselves for the most part, so this will be really cool. They can put their own personality, their charisma, and their flair into it. I know they'll do a great job with that. And then, of course, the exit ticket is something that we all can do. And that way, if anybody had any questions that they might have forgot about or been intimidated to ask, they can present those questions through the exit ticket. Okay, so now we're going to get into the decomposing and the describing of the task. The instructional designer crew leader will initiate a discussion of the importance of paying attention at the work site, citing issues of importance to the customer, such as asking their name. Customers love when you remember their name. Hey, Charlie, how you doing today? Inquiring what they need. How can I help you today? And how the core member as the employee can help them. When people come into let's say the food pantry, they might not be there for food. They might be there for hygienic items. So we can point them in that direction. Instead of having them look around, we can just point them to exactly where they need to go. As a class, we'll do the invisible gorilla experiment, followed by a group discussion to emphasize the importance of careful observation to avoid missing things. The concept map on the whiteboard, this is me just decomposing the task, will have 2 phrases. Students will add words and slogans For one circle, that'll be good customer service. The other circle will be lousy customer service. They can share personal anecdotes on habits they have liked and disliked as consumers. Since the instructional designer and crew leader also teaches social studies, this can be a light introduction to economics. This is so great because I can softly touch on economics when I talk about goods and services, wants and needs. Those are some of the basic economic concepts that I can browse over before we jump into the full lesson. But at least the students will be familiar with some of these terms and some of these ideas moving forward. All right, so this is when we get into my favorite task, which is the video skits. So one will focus on the customer element, one will focus on the employee perspective. I will shoot these videos and then I will display them in a group setting. Each core member will have to give a response to the skit. So how is this going to be put together? I will role play a customer entering the three workplaces for various reasons. So, in one instance, I'll play the role of a student requiring some information about mental health services. And when I say student in this instance, I'm talking about the college students that will come to these various sites to engage with my students, the core members. Another instance will have the ID, aka me, role playing a staff member, inquiring about the process for getting extra food for their family through the pantry. So with the pantry on campus, it doesn't just service students, it also services staff members, and they're about to open up to the general public as well. So these are things that are very important. Okay, so we want students to be able to know how to interact with members of their community because they might see somebody that they know. On the flip side, I can role play positive and negative workplace practices and have core members discuss what the ID playing the role did right and what needs improvement. So I'm going to play a scene where an employee that has my headphones on, that's on the phone, that's not paying attention, and have the students tell me what's wrong with this picture and how they would feel if they were a consumer or a client walking into a place of business and they were treated like that. This, I think, will definitely get the conversation started, and we will be able to address many issues and in a fun way, but it's also going to focus on some of the serious bad habits and good habits that I see on the work site. Based on those skits, core members will be tasked to create brief instructional videos for each site on their job at the work sites. Everything from being in uniform, because we have youth corps uniforms, a t-shirt or a hoodie or a fleece. Students are going to show all those things on these brief videos: how to operate on the site, how to deal with customers, how to stock and put things away, and maybe some tips on how they'll keep a positive attitude. These are all things that they will focus on. Peers teaching peers, in my experience, has been effective when attempting to show appropriate practices. Every cohort can develop a video. These videos can also be helpful for promotional use and as an addition to our newsletter, bi-monthly reports to the Department of Labor, so they and other youth corps can see our work in action. So this is going to be really cool, and this also can be used for grant development. These are all really great things that I hope to be able to bring to our program through this project. Exit tickets will inquire the effectivity of the learned material throughout the lesson, and will require that core members sign an agreement based on their comprehension of expectations before they begin on the work site. And here is the exit ticket. I pulled this resource, by the way, from brown.edu. Name one important thing you learned in class today. What do you think was accomplished by the small group activity we did today? So they could talk about the concept map, they could talk about the invisible gorilla, and then write and ask one question about today's content, something that has left you puzzled. All right, so the learning outcomes, last piece of task analysis. Core members can recall tasks and responsibilities on the work site. Core members can apply the knowledge discussed to effectively earn their service work hours satisfactory to youth corps standards and cooperative spirit goals. We have something called cooperative spirit. That's basically working together in collaboration. Core members can identify appropriate and relevant customer service techniques for various scenarios. And then core members can create and produce a set of expectations digitally for themselves and future employees. Really cool. So I like the fact that core members can kind of leave a footprint. They can leave their footprint everlasting on the program through the instructional videos that they create. And here is the task rating. My priority, of course, is the instruction video creation because that's something that is going to be a permanent fixture. And then response to the video skits, very, very important. So I know that students know how to deal with different scenarios and situations. The exit ticket will basically show me that they comprehended everything that I was explaining to them. The concept map just gives us more or less of ideas of what good customer service is, bad customer service, and the invisible gorilla experiment. The last priority is just more or less just a fun way for them to understand how important it is to pay attention and how easy it is for us to lose attention. And this is the final piece, task selection and rationale. So since service working through volunteer efforts is one of the hallmarks of the New Jersey Youth Corps program, core members need to learn the importance of building customer service skills. First, getting students to recognize the problematic issues on any given work site through group discussion is pertinent. From there, showing students how easy it is to miss things right before them with the invisible gorilla experiment can be an example of attention importance. Core members are tasked with working with possibly a vulnerable population of college students and staff seeking assistance in various forms, such as mental health referrals or food benefits. Therefore, students must know appropriate practices for interacting with these potential clients. The concept map will reinforce and introduce students to good and bad habits regarding customer service expectations. The video skits performed by the ID/CL gives students a more intimate and personable look at possible scenarios and solutions to several situations they may face at the work site. Furthermore, core members can take what they have learned and develop small instructional videos to help future crews and solidify their learnings from our session. Finally, through the exit ticket, students can show comprehension of what they have gained and pose questions for further review. Overall, the ID/CL wants students to feel empowered and accountable for their efforts on the worksite. In addition, these practices should further assist core members in their overall duration with Youth Corps and future job opportunities. Thank you for your time today. I greatly appreciate it. Take care.